What's up, guys? We're back at Gym Challenge Sunday, number 4, and we're here with Top Cut for the tournament today. So our first our our first match is gonna be Junxi Zhu versus Daniel Franklin, and we saw Daniel earlier on stream this actually the first round versus Josh. So I mean, if you guys were watching till now, you must have seen his team. And next person we have is Junxi Zhu. And then I could have Sean has first-hand experience with this team, so he could explain it a little bit.
So his team is really cool. The Ogre Pawn and Arcanine have insane pressure, right? Hisuian Arcanine with a choice band just does so much damage, and its biggest weakness, water type moves, is patched up by that Gastrodon, right? Storm Drain redirecting all those Urshifu moves. In this case, I don't think water type attacks are that relevant. I guess maybe if we see a Hydro Pump from Iron Bundle, but Freeze Dry does threaten Gastrodon a lot. So I think what will be really interesting to see here is if Weezing on Daniel's team will see a light, because Will-O-Wisp notably does not actually do anything to Ogre Pawn, Arcanine, and a Pterodon Rillaboom, right? So it's gonna be really interesting to see how he chooses to position Weezing if he brings it, and also how he's gonna deal with this Flutter Mane. The Choice Specs Flutter Mane on Junxi really scary and really hard to deal with. Just Moonblast, Terra Fairy, just putting in so much work, right? Just one-shotting Iron Hand, stuff like that. So it's gonna be really interesting as we get into this first game.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's not a lot of targets for Daniel to burn here, right? Because I mean, as we saw in his first match earlier today, he pretty much burned all 4 of Josh's Pokemon, right? So like it was really hard for Josh to come back from that. But I mean, if you have like a bunch of burn immune Pokemon or a few that just don't care, like I think the Rillaboom's like the only one that really cares, and it has Terra Fire too, like, you know. So it's really good into this Weezing matchup, right? So Daniel's probably gonna have to like go a little bit deeper into his bag of tricks in order to try to pull this one out, right? Weezing can't just really solo win the game here.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how speed control is also varied here, because Junxi notably has the Tornadus. Okay, so we're getting to the first game, seeing the Arcanine Flutter Mane lead into a Flutter Mane Iron Hand. Very interesting lead for... he's in a really commanding position here. But a lot of it depends on these Flutter Mane speed tiers, right? Which Flutter Mane is faster, etc. Just to gain information, one could feel forced to even Terra up it.
Yeah, no, for sure, right? And it's actually a little hard for this Iron Hands here too, right? Because like it kind of has to go for the fake out, but it's also putting itself in a position to get Moonblasted. Yeah. And so he might have to like even
and a Terra Water here could make him have a much more matchup into like a potential Rillaboom or a Ogre Pawn in the back, or you know.
Yeah, and actually we actually see what's in the back, right? He actually does have. He does have those 2 in the back, so it's like it's a little hard.
So
but
he does switch here. Yeah,
he doesn't even bother trying to check for speed tiers. He'd rather not risk it.
In this case, he's going to catch a Heavy Slam potentially, and he's going to catch that Moonblast. We saw him lock into a Flare Blitz, I believe, on the Flutter Mane slot. That is going to be a huge amount of damage next. But
yeah,
a lot of this depends on if the fake out goes through. So we do see the Flutter Mane Terra Astalizing here. I think it'll be really interesting to see if the Iron Hand flicks fake out or not. So
yeah, and then if he reads this, is a little crazy. But I mean, see, Iron Hand does go into the so Arcanine. He pretty much did have to do that.
And
right?
Moonblast goes into this.
Probably going into the Rillaboom here.
Yes, Assault Vest Rillaboom. Gonna take quite a lot of damage from that. Wow,
so much. Oh my
but goodness. It is interesting to note here that the Arcanine, while Choice Band is not locked into a
that is Specs damage. So
Choice Specs Terra Fairy is scary. Rillaboom is threatening the Flutter Mane quite a lot here with the Stream Spleed plus the Grassy Glide. Fake out also onto the Flutter Mane slot here is really interesting. But alternatively, Hands is threatening the Arcanine a lot with the Drain Punch into the Arcanine slot being very scary proposition.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, even though it's intimidated, the Drain Punch is still going to do a lot. And actually, one crucial thing is that it actually didn't matter what the Arcanine locked into, because the fake out lets it choose another move, because it never moved in the first place, right?
So we're going to see a Flutter Mane switch out here.
Yeah, that's actually really smart from Daniel here, right?
Because so Landorus coming out here, going to intimidate, drop this Arcanine in this Rillaboom, potentially going to give this these Rillaboom and Arcanine a problem here. It's very interesting here. This Landorus.
Oh, he double switches. Interesting. Okay.
That's a very interesting play. I actually really like this play here, because by sending out Weezing and Rillaboom here, right? What basically happens is you can't really position either of them in a great way, because this Landorus is gonna
Oh
actually
my
get critical
God,
hit
that
and
crit.
die.
Oh,
So
yeah, I was
that
like,
is
dude,
really unfortunate.
yeah,
This
I
would have
was
been a great position if that critical hit didn't happen.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I don't think Bandit Arcanine did that much damage, but I mean, that was just a
-1,
crit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess the critical hit negates that and does the more extra damage on top of it. So this is now really awkward for Daniel. He can repair his position, a fake out into Arcanine and a Sludge Bomb to Rillaboom.
Yeah,
Really
so this
scary
is
here,
this
but,
is actually, I mean, yeah, he does have like a way out of this, right? Because he isn't intimidated anymore in the Iron Hands, right? So if he actually calls this right, he could probably get like a clean knockout on something, just because you know, there's no reduction from Wild Charge or anything.
It entirely depends on if you choose to switch here or how he chooses to position this Arcanine in front of his Iron Hands. Keep in mind that Rillaboom does have high horsepower, which does do quite a decent amount of damage to Weezing, but not going to threaten it too much with the rather low attack stat for Rillaboom when she's running.
Yeah, and Daniel really likes to kind of protect the Weezing here, right? I mean, it is under threat, so I think he wants to protect it here.
We're going to see Arcanine switch out for a Flutter Mane. If Daniel calls this with a Heavy Slam, it's going to be pretty much game over, I think. But a Fake Out does go into the Flutter Mane slot, or the Arcanine slot.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a U-turn into hand. A very safe play from Junxi.
Yeah, and I think Arcanine's
a lot of
back here.
potential downsides. So we're going to see the Arcanine recycle most likely. Get that Intimidate drop on that hand.
Or he brings in the Fire Ogre. I mean, that's
risky
really...
because Sludge Bomb was most likely going to the Rillaboom, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what he chooses here. I think Arcanine is probably where he goes. So yeah, he does choose Arcanine.
He doesn't want to risk the Sludge Bomb, right?
Actually, we're not. I misspoke. We're not going to get the Intimidate drop because of neutralizing gas.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Sludge Bomb not going to do that much. That rock resisting that poison type.
And no poison. No poison. Crucially, right? Because I mean, if it was a poison, they actually put the Arcanine on a timer and get kind of figure out a way to stall that out.
It is interesting to note here that Daniel has used his Terastallization, but Junxi hasn't. A Terra Fairy Moonblast on this Flutter Mane, a double up onto this Iron Hands is extremely threatening here. And honestly, Daniel does not have any answers for it. He can't protect this Iron Hands. He doesn't really have a switch in for it, right? That critical hit on the
Lando was pretty rough there.
Pretty rough there, right?
Yeah, because you like.
No,
you kind of have to let something go down.
Yeah, so we're gonna see a double up, a Moonblast, putting it so low, and this Flare Blitz gonna clean up.
Yeah. So he does get a free switch into the Flutter Mane, but it's still like very awkward for him.
It's also interesting to note that we still have that Rillaboom in the back and this E-Speed Arcanine, right? So again, if Flutter Mane does go down here, we're just gonna see a double up. That critical hit. But yeah, if Flutter Mane does go down here, we're going to see a double up Grassy Glide E-Speed into this Flutter Mane, which is probably going to take it out anyway. So I think this is the end of the line here for Junxi, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, so this is it's kind of vulnerable here because I mean, again, it's also a Specs Flutter Mane. It doesn't have any protecting moves, so you can't even give a mind game here, right?
Interesting here. I think Daniel's best play might actually be to forfeit, so he doesn't reveal the Flutter Mane speed tiers.
maybe.
Or maybe he wants the information himself, though.
Yeah. But like, it's one of those things where like, even if he does, like, I think he just wants to play it out, right? I mean,
that's
like,
fair. So we're gonna actually see that the Daniel Flutter Mane is in fact faster. That's gonna be really important.
That's crucial information. For sure,
So we're gonna see a Moonblast going to that Flutter Mane, doing so much damage, and then another Sludge Bomb to Flutter Mane, not gonna kill.
Yeah, it does get poison crucially.
I don't think it matters that much, but definitely something.
Yeah, no,
most likely here we're gonna see a Rillaboom, Grassy Glide into Flutter, and then just a Moonblast and slowly chipping down that Weezing.
I'm pretty sure though that the Moonblast, not the Moonblast, the Weezing is, I don't know, Weezing is, it did enough at a point, but it's not doing as much
it kind of spread a little bit of damage around, but it wasn't able to really take any knockouts. And Daniel's Pokemon just put so much more pressure.
No, for sure, right? He has like Choice Band,
just the amount of pressure that Daniel can put on in a turn is so much higher than Junxi can just put so much more pressure that I don't know if Weezing is the right call here, but it's gonna be interesting to see if he thinks that he can flex the Weezing into great positions, spreading damage, making it really awkward to not be able to intimidate Cypher, and just get value from it. But
I mean, and also like the the way he pivoted in the Lando was really smart, right? Because he got rid of the neutralizing gas, and then he switched in the Lando first, and
intimidate going first, and then the neutralizing gas taking effect. But unfortunately for him, the critical hit
it was a little rough. I probably still would have lived.
It would have definitely lived.
It would have lived, but like at low HP or something, you know, like.
But that live is really important here because you have that choice scarf, right? They're forced to go. Their choice band locked into Flare Blitz, so they can't e-speed you, and you're guaranteed getting damage off of something. But
yeah, you can
we're
just
gonna
like
see a
hit
quick game
you can even
here.
like click a rock slide for chip or something. No?
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be really
So-
interesting how these two players choose to reposition, how they choose to basically get a win con, because Weezing is awkward for Junxi, but it's not really that threatening. He kind of just can leave it there, let it spread damage, but just target down the other slots, the actually threatening mons, like the critically threatening mons.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like it like Ogerpon, like it can negate like stuff like Ogerpon's Mold Breaker and stuff, right? But like it's just little.
I don't think there's anything Mold Breaker to activate on here.
I mean, I guess it would. I mean, yeah, there's nothing Mold Breaker would really activate on, but it's one of those things. It's just one of those things where like, what do you call it? It's not really. Again, it's like it just comes to the fact that this team does well without any.
Yeah,
you know,
agreed.
Like the Tornadus will still get like I would argue Tornadus still might get the Tailwind up.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very fast Pokemon, and it's bulky too, most likely, right?
So.
It runs a lot of bulk, and even without Tailwind, Bleakwind Storm is so threatening, right?
Oh yeah.
You can just keep clicking that move, and it's always gonna get value, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like this Weezing, but it's hitting both slots.
Yeah. Exactly.
And flying type coverage is really, really good into Daniel's team here, right?
Yeah.
Just hitting everything for neutral. Except hands.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, no, even hands is neutral, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Fighting being
everything for hand.
It's just insane neutral coverage, and you know,
stab neutral.
Yeah, I actually think like
it's gonna be very interesting to see how these players choose to adapt.
Yeah, and I actually think like something like Bundle Chi-Yu might be like something real that could actually match Junxi's pressure. Right?
Yeah,
or not even like maybe in Flutter Chi-Yu, right? Depends on the actually, he knows the speed tiers now, right? Because like his Flutter is actually faster, right? So his Flutter is technically, I guess if Weezing is out in the field, Flutter is the fastest Pokemon in the game right now, right? And Booster Bundle, right? But like, what I'm trying to get at, right, is like he could probably leverage that into putting out like be able to like, put as much pressure as Junxi, right?
So it's gonna be really interesting how these players choose to lead. I think the lead matters a lot with these, right? That
especially how
Arcanine puts so much
is.
pressure onto Flutter Mane, but Iron Hands is very threatening, right? So it's very interesting. That first game was so explosive, right?
Yeah.
We pretty much were seeing knockouts or close to knockouts every turn.
Yeah, pretty much every turn.
So we're gonna load into a quick game 2 here.
And I mean, so let's see what Daniel decides to lead here, because I mean, it put on the back foot last game, and he does actually lead with Landorus Iron Hand, so no Weezing coming out as we know right now.
It's really interesting. The Intimidate on the Arcanine, but the double Intimidate on the Landorus and the Iron Hand is going to set that Arcanine to neutral attack, but the Iron Hand's Landorus is going to be -1 here.
Yeah.
So
actually, it's actually
to note is Arcanine is very threatened by Stomping Tantrum here, and Flutter Mane is very threatened by Heavy Slam. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these two players choose to position around that.
Yeah, and we actually know, unless the Flutter Terra Fairies, right, the Moonblast is not actually going to KO, right? It does a lot of damage, but it doesn't actually KO.
It does not pick up, yeah.
So
and
I mean,
High Hands does have its Water Terror to kind of
he is thinking about it, though, because I think
Terra Fairy Dazzling is going to put him in a really, really high damage position, right? Everything's going to be super tripped, unless, of course, a fake out from, or flinch from Rock Slide, or a fake out prediction onto that Flutter Mane Terra.
Oh my god, yeah.
That would be crazy.
If we see that, that would be crazy, yeah. But I mean, it is a mind game at the end of the day, and actually we did see Junxi lock in that Terra here, so he's gonna go for it, and we'll see if Daniel responds with the zone, right? Because he might want to defensively Terra the Iron Hands here, right? Unless he did go for that fake out play, right? So I mean, so this is an interesting thing to see. And Landorus uses U-turn. It is actually faster than the Flutter Mane.
Yeah, I mean the Choice Scarf is just crazy, right?
Yeah.
So whatever's going to switch in here is going to take a lot from this Terra Fairy Moonblast, right? Notably, Daniel does not have any resist besides that Weezing, and we actually are going to see the Weezing come out.
Yeah, and
this is going to be huge. If a Heavy Slam goes into Flutter Mane, it's pretty much just dead, right?
Oh, he goes for Dazzling Gleam.
It's interesting to know, this Flutter Mane might survive if a Heavy Slam does go into it, just because of that -1 in the beginning from the Harkonine, right? So we'll see. Heavy Slam does go into the Flutter Mane slot. It does live, and there's no priority on Daniel's side.
The Intimidate
Junxi
actually put
coming in clutch there, yeah.
yeah, came in clutch because like usually that would knock out, right? And now the Fluttermane's out for another turn, which is extremely threatening, right? And he doesn't have access to fake out
another
anymore.
Dazzling Gleam and a high horsepower into that Weezing is taking a double knockout, but Junxi seems like he's gonna play it safe, just fake out the Weezing, and Dazzling Gleam.
Yeah, no, I mean the bulky, it is just a combination of like how he built his Fluttermane
and the Intimidate drop. Most bulky flutters right now are surviving Heavy Slam after the -1, so it's really interesting to see that actually happen.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, like it might not come up as often as you think, but like it did.
We're going to see the Weezing protect, and Daniel's just going to let his hands go down to this Dazzling Gleam, and most likely switch in his Landorus here, right? It's going to be faster than that Flutter, going to take the revenge knockout.
Yeah, at least take a revenge KO, right? I mean, that's the best he can do right now, and yeah, I mean, he hasn't committed his Terra, which is actually pretty favorable for him, I would say, right? He didn't commit it, so he could potentially do some mind games with the Lando, right?
Yes, like, that Terraflying Landorus T is very threatening for the Rillaboom, and if Junxi feels so threatened on the Fluttermane that he switches it out, and he effectively just loses his Rillaboom for no reason, right? So that'll be really interesting.
It is kind of a weird 50-50 here, but actually...
Also, it's important to note that that Landorus cannot be intimidated because of the Harkonine sitting on that, or that Weezing sitting on that field.
Yeah, so it will still retain all its power, and actually, I would argue like maybe even like a Terra, like he could just kind of go for a Terra Flying Terra Blast, and like I guess he would need to guess what slot the Arcanine would be switching into, right? That's the only resist he really has.
The big problem here is Fluttermane, you kind of want to preserve it in the back, right? So reading a switch is very likely, and if we see Daniel Terra Ostalize here with the Terra Blast into the Rillaboom, that would be crazy. But even into the Ogerpon, that would be enormous. But
so he goes for the stomping. He wanted to get the
guaranteed damage.
Does a lot,
Still does a lot. Weezing probably not going to go down here. Yeah, eats that up quite a lot. And Sludge Bomb into that Rillaboom shot's going to take it so low.
That does a lot of damage there.
It does not seem like it's actually going to do 2-hit here, right? That Grassy Terrain, healing that Rillaboom up, keeping it healthy and safe out of those knockout ranges.
Yeah, and it's actually very interesting here, right? Because the Weezing is notably slower than the Rillaboom. So I don't think Weezing is gonna be able to take another high horsepower, right? It just has to kind of sit there, and
also another thing that's really interesting is the Ogerpon is not a 2-hit KO from Stomping Tantrum. So the Landorus is locked into that move, and it's gonna be really awkward to see how it wants to approach the situation. This is looking disastrous for Daniel.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it really is, right? Because I mean I think his best bet was to lock into that Terra Flying Terra Blast. You know, only reason I would say that, right, is because he does I mean, if you look at Junxi's team, right, it has actually a lot of Pokemon that are just neutral to flying. Besides
I mean, most of the format right now is you know, that's why Arcanine Hisui is so popular, right? That rock typing resisting that flying. So we're actually going to see a Chi-Yu switch in on the Landorus, maybe predicting something. So as we know, the high horsepower is going to get locked into the thing, but Cudgel into the Chi-Yu is going to take down so much. The critical hit, that makes much more sense.
And he would have high horsepowers into the Weezing. Okay, that was actually a good play by Daniel there. It was just unfortunate that crit happened, right? I mean, he got in the Chi-Yu pretty safely, but the issue is it probably actually just fades to a double glide because of that crit.
Yeah, that crit is really awkward. Daniel constantly switching in Pokemon to critical hits, man. Come on.
Yeah, no, and then it's just unfortunate. That is the game, but like
that is the game. It's super unfortunate. So this
it always sucks when it happens.
This is most likely looking like the end here. A full health Arcanine Hisui with extreme speed choice band in the back, while Chi-Yu, Weezing, and Landorus are all chipped quite a lot.
Yeah, not only that, the Fluttermane's like still insane.
Yeah, Fluttermane is still in the back, like.
And there's nothing really to contest it anymore, right? Besides the Landorus. He would need like a million flinches or something.
I mean, even then, like, there's the E-Speed from the Harkonine going before the Rock Slide, right? Not being able to flinch. So actually see the Weezing come out for the Landorus T, getting the Intimidate drop on the Rillaboom. Maybe he's hoping that the double Intimidate is going to make sure the Grassy Glides don't kill the Chi-Yu.
Yeah.
If that happens and a Heat Wave comes off, maybe we could see Daniel not actually lose here.
Yeah. It's actually interesting, and we also need to know what's the Ogerpon on Terra, and like he already burned his Terra, right?
So yeah,
he's actually getting. That's actually a smart protect because he actually gets to he actually gets to get a little more healing.
Yeah.
So he can
It's
actually
that extra,
Yeah.
just that extra healing from the grassy terrain.
Yeah.
So it's actually interesting to note that this Chew is Life Orb Heat Wave.
Yeah.
That Heat Wave hitting both Rillaboom and Ogerpon, it's gonna do so much damage, especially with that Life Orb boost, right?
Oh, not only that, this Lando like actually kind of threatens the Ogerpon here.
Yes, Terrifying
Yeah,
Terra Blast
yeah.
is really strong here. That was a really good switch from Daniel, right? Seeing the line, but it is interesting to see how
Oh, and crucially, the grassy terrain's over,
Yeah,
so he actually
Chew
doesn't
cannot be
have the
double grinded
priority.
anymore,
Yeah. So you either have to
So-
switch something in or just straight up.
Stomping Tantrum to Chew most likely.
Yeah, stomping into Chi-Yu, and
I would not be partial for Rillaboom switching out into Harkonine here and
Yeah.
Ogerpon just spiky shielding, but we'll see what Junxi chooses to do. Like, this is a very tough position for both players. There's a lot of potential.
yeah, because I mean, she could also go for the stomping into Ogerpon or something, right? We're predicting the Arcanine switch in. So like, it's an interesting mind game here, right? I mean, honestly, I think Chi-Yu goes for Heat Wave no matter what, almost. That's like that's the one thing I do know, right? And then, Lender's getting this Intimidate. Let's see what he goes for Stomping Tantrum into. If he goes for Stomping Tantrum into Ogerpon slot, like that's crazy. But we already know he has Terra Flying.
Yeah.
Let's hope it goes into the Rillaboom. I don't know if it will. And honestly, Rillaboom could like possibly survive, but this is a really strong move coming out.
So
And
Terra Blast
is it into
straight
Rillaboom here?
into that Rillaboom.
It is
slot,
into
gonna
the
definitely
Rillaboom. Let's see
knock
if
it
takes the
out.
KO.
Like,
It
there's
does.
no
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we're gonna probably see a Height Wave into this Harkonine. The Quad Resist,
Yeah.
not gonna do that much.
But I mean, Beads of Ruin, man.
Oh,
Dark
actually,
Pulse,
Dark
actually,
Pulse. He predicts
That's
it.
actually
That
a
can do so
really
much.
good move by him.
Yeah.
Well played
So
by
the
Daniel.
awkward thing is here, there is
predicting
an
the
extreme
switch.
speed remaining, right?
Yeah.
Being able to take those KOs is gonna be really tough.
Crucially, there's no priority left on Junxi's side, right?
Extreme speed.
Oh, extreme speed.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, Harkonine didn't walk
Arcanine's
into it.
priority here is gonna make it really awkward, right? The spiky shield, extreme speed. We'll see. We'll see. Landorus is faster than everything on the field, but that extreme speed is very threatening, right? The
Yeah.
choice band, and it's still full attack. It has not been intimidate dropped once. So,
I could actually see a world where if Junxi for some reason does decide to go into that extreme speed, right? Weezing could take a hit, and Weezing could take a hit, right?
so he's gonna opt to go into that Flutter Mane here.
It's actually very interesting, right? Because we know Floodman's slower, and
Slower,
Arcanine
yeah.
E-Speed will like never pick up this Lander.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I mean,
so,
a crit. I don't know.
a crit, yeah,
yeah,
you'd have
a
to-
crit probably doesn't.
yeah,
count.
but
There's
like,
a very low
but like,
chance.
I mean, barring a crit, right? I mean, I feel like, yeah, barring a crit, I don't think the Slanders goes down to E-Speed.
This is a really
So it
really
is
awkward
actually
position
kind
for
of
Junxi.
it is kind of a free it's a really free Terra Blast into that slot.
Yes. Alternatively, a Fluttermane sack and an E-Speed into the Chi-Yu to knock it out is going to be very interesting.
Yeah,
Right.
and then Daniel wanted to call this in like maybe Protect or something, right? But like it's one of those things where is it worth getting a chip onto Landorus and miscalling a Protect, you know? Or
So he's actually going to lock to the Rock Slide here. That's so
very
interesting.
Yeah.
If this Harkonine does not get hit here, it will actually do insane amounts of damage to Chi-Yu. So this Fluttermane is going to go down. Is
Yeah,
the
and
Harkonine
this
faster
dark-
than the Chi-Yu? That is the interesting thing.
Yeah, that is the question, right? Because I mean, sometimes Harkonine usually is slower, but let's see. Oh, Chi-Yu
So
is
Chi-Yu
faster.
is faster. So
Oh,
it seems
really,
like we're
dude?
going to a
This-
game 3.
This is game 3, yeah. I mean, Daniel played out like even though he brought Weezing, he actually played it like really well this time, right? I mean,
Honestly, he was in a
yeah.
very bad position. He
Yeah.
managed to fix it, right? Making a few reads, repositioning his board, and he really, really got back into the game.
yeah, and again, he crucially also again stalled out that terrain, right?
Yeah,
where
so it
where
seems like
he's
Junxi's
not
just gonna
under threat of
forfeit.
those double priorities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it seems like Junxi's just going to forfeit. We're going to go into a game 3. That terrain going down,
Was
that was the
very
most crucial turn, I think.
Yeah.
Right, going
That was
down
that-
right in front of that Chi-Yu,
it
allowing the
made-
Dark Pulse. Also, the Dark Pulse read into that
Yeah.
Harkonine, right?
Yeah.
Doing so much
Yeah,
damage.
if he heat waved, it probably would have been like really bad, right?
Yeah, the
I mean, he
quad
obviously
resist.
switched. He obviously could have switched moves after, but the double Dark Pulse is the reason he got that KO at
Yeah.
the end, right? And
The quad resisted Heat Wave, probably doing like 2%.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's be honest here, barring like a small crit or something, right? But I mean, and then again, it was also under beads, so you know, might have done a little more. Chi-Yu is a strong boy.
Yeah, that 135 special attack really
Yeah.
carrying it. So we're gonna see both players get into the game. I'm really interested in these leads again, right? That Flutter main Harkonine being the old reliable lead for Junxi, but he just lost with it. So
Yeah,
it'll be really interesting to see if he tries to change it up a bit, maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, he has already seen Daniel's answer to that, right? And again, like barring like some unfortunate stuff, like I mean, Daniel managed to bring it back, so it's a very very interesting. And I guess I guess he's
Just gonna go lock in the same four in the same order.
lock in the same four maybe.
I do agree with these four. I think Gastron is not going to put in that much work in this matchup, right? Notably, the only water move being Hydro Pump on a Pokemon that one-shots Gastron back. And then, like, Gastron just does not put much offensive pressure on anything besides maybe Lando in some hands. But, and Tornadus, the speed tier is not mattering a ton here. Maybe could be relevant to make this Harkonine faster, but, yeah, it's interesting to see how these players do.
I actually do think Tornadus might actually have a little niche here, because it does, as we've seen, right? There's actually a lot of things on Daniel's team that barely outspeed other things, right? Like his Flutter's faster, the Lando's like the fastest thing on the field without the terrain.
So we're not actually going to see that Tornadus, though. He's going to lock into that Ogre Pond Fire.
Yeah,
Heart Flame.
Heart Flame, yeah. So, I mean, actually, like, a lot of Daniel's team is faster, right? But like he needs to leverage that the priority advantage he has to probably bring this out. So let's see if he actually leads Weezing into it. No, he doesn't. He does Iron Hands.
Chi-Yu Iron Hands. This is very interesting here, right?
Yeah.
This Flutter main puts on a lot of offensive pressure here, but this Harkonine too, right? Like it's minus attack on his hands, and it like resists the Chi-Yu very well and threatens it back with Rock Slide.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be very interesting to see this Chi-Yu's
But
Terra
interestingly
is
enough,
in fact Ghost, so not gonna be super relevant here. Maybe muting that extreme speed could matter, but
yeah, but it's actually I actually think this is not like too bad of a lead from Daniel here, right? Because the interesting thing he could go for, Flutter either has to commit a Moonblast on Chi-Yu or commit it on Iron Hands, right? And it will probably take out Iron Hands, but Chi-Yu actually gets a free attack. Like you could actually go for something like Fake Out into Arc-9 and then like overheat the Flutter, right?
Exactly.
And that probably picks up the KO with beads and stuff. And he's actually going for the Terra again. Let's actually see if Daniel reads this, right? I mean, he could also just like fake out Flutter main and go for an overheat just straight up, right? Because we know that Chi-Yu outspeeds the Arcanine from the last game. And
so we're gonna see Terra from both sides. Junxi notably terroring that, terrestrializing that Flutter main, getting that Terra Fairy, getting that boost in damage.
So
we're gonna see Daniel Terra Water here. Honestly, a very interesting play here, right? Resisting that Flare Blitz, making that Moonblast neutral.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what these two players choose lock to do. Fake Out does go into the Harkonine here.
And let's see what this Moonblast goes into.
Moonblast going into that Chi-Yu.
The Chi-Yu
probably taking a knockout here.
Oh, it does pick it up.
That 120 special defense not mattering in the face of a Terra Fairy Choice Specs Moonblast.
Oh my god. That was the call we thought Junxi had to make, right? Like which one is he terroring? And he got the call right, and now it's kind of a precarious situation here for
this Flutter main is super threatening. We don't know if the Landorus kills it yet. The Terrestrialize is burned. Iron Hands is super weak to Rillaboom now, right?
Yeah.
And this Arcanine can be preserved in the back to cycle. It's really interesting to see how this Flutter main will deal with the Landorus, right? If it doesn't get knocked out here, it'll just so much damage, right? With that
but crucially,
Moonblast.
I was gonna say crucially, but he did burn the Terra already. I was gonna say there's not many switch-ins to Terra Flying Terra Blast, but he already has burned Terra here. And
locking into that locking into that Stomping Tantrum in front of a Rillaboom Grass type is really awkward. So we'll see what Daniel chooses to pick here. I'm not surprised it'll be U-turn.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, nice U-turn here, right? I mean, he's gonna U-turn into possibly maybe like I feel like
probably Weezing, right? Gonna eat that Moonblast quite a lot. Heavy Slam going to the Flutter main, most likely taking that knockout. Yeah, so we are gonna see the Weezing here. Not gonna take too much damage at all. Probably like 30%, right? That resists really hard carrying that Pokemon stats.
Yeah, and let's see here. Does go into the Moonblast, right? That takes
that did a lot.
Still.
I'm very surprised.
Oh, and it actually goes for the
Drain Punch into the Rillaboom, critical hit, being over half. That is very important here. Sludge Bomb plus Drain Punch does take Rillaboom here. So it'll be really interesting to see how these two players position. Fake out is available for Junxi, so
Yeah, and not only is Faked Out available, this Weezing cannot take another hit. That was so much damage from the Terra Fairy Moonblast.
yeah. So we're actually gonna see a fake out and double up into this Iron Hands, right? It's gonna do so much damage. It was a fake out?
Huh?
I think that was fake out, right? In that Rillaboom slot.
Oh yeah. I mean, Iron Hands can't Fake Out right now, but
No, I meant the Rillaboom.
oh yeah, the Rillaboom. Yeah, Rillaboom did Fake Out. I didn't
Okay, yeah.
see
So the
it
fake out going into that Iron Hands.
Yeah.
Moonblast also
And
locking
actually,
straight into that Iron
crucially,
Hands.
what is it? There's no
Grassy Glide.
protect on the Weezing. Goes for that. Oh, does he get the poison?
Does not get the poison.
No.
Barely not taking out that Rillaboom, right? This Flutter Mane
Yeah.
is so threatening. A Grassy Glide into the Iron Hands and a Moonblast into the Weezing. Most
Yeah.
likely going to seal up this game here. What a great
Yeah.
set. But
Oh
we'll
yeah,
see what the Chiefs
it was a
plays
great
keeps
set.
working.
Daniel, I would say Daniel, like he adapted superbly game 2, right? But it just the
The
Terra-
long read turn 1.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The turn 1 kind of like when game 1, right, where the turn 1 kind of just like decided it. It was or the early
It
turns.
seems
at
like
least, right?
Daniel's not going to risk the Grassy Glide not killing the Iron Hands. Just going to double it with another Moonblast. Or
Yeah, I mean, it's better to be safe in that case, right? I mean, if the Grassy Glide does pick it up. Oh no, he doesn't Grassy
so we're
Glide.
just going to Moonblast straight into that Iron Hands. You turn into that Weezing.
And Weezing is going
Most
to,
likely going to Sludge Bomb this Rillaboom,
Yeah.
right? Maybe
And-
this Flutter Mane takes it. It'll quite a lot of Flutter Mane. It is weak to it, right?
Yeah,
But U-turn does come out. Most likely Harkonine coming out here, right?
yeah.
Harkonine most notably resisting that Sludge Bomb.
Oh yeah,
Making it
resisting
do very
Sludge
little
Bomb by like a
damage.
lot actually, yeah. So he doesn't actually know what's coming out here, but it probably is something Sludge Bomb, right? I mean, you're not really will-o-wisping anything in
Mhm.
this. Like I
I
said,
wouldn't be too surprised if it was Ogerpon, right? Projecting the Sludge Bomb into the Flutter Mane, and even if Ogremon takes the Moonblast,
Mhm.
you can use that Ivy Cudgel and Moonblast to threaten that Landorus,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You want to use Arcanine for the end game. You want to see what this Landorus locks into, right? It's most likely going to be Stomping Tantrum, so I can hit the Arcanine in the end game.
Yeah.
But Rock Slide is also a possibility, right? To
Yeah,
hit
yeah.
both
There's always
targets,
a Rock
maybe
Slide
flinch him
endgame.
out. So,
Yeah, I mean, that's probably kind of what he has to
so
kind
we're
of.
going to see Ogerpon come out here.
Yeah, and he actually crucially has the glide here. Because he has
And Sludge Bomb does go into that Flutter Mane, not taking it
not
out.
taking it out, not
But
quite.
Landorus is very threatening now. Rock Slide most likely taking this Flutter Mane
Yeah,
down.
I mean, it will take a good amount from the Grassy Glide probably coming out, right? But crucially, yeah, yeah. I mean, drops the attack.
Neutralizing.
Oh yeah, not dropping the attack there. So
So we're gonna see
yeah.
an Ivy Cudgel Moonblast into Landorus. Most likely.
Yeah, and
Maybe
actually,
a switch to
crucially,
Arcanine.
this Harkonine
Yeah.
can't really switch in and get an Intimidate off because of the Weezing, right?
Yeah.
And
So
Weezing-
the interesting thing here is how is Daniel going to deal with the fact that he needs to keep Stomping Tantrum to be able
Yeah.
to kill this Arcanine, right? So
Yeah.
he is going to just double it, Ivy Cudgel, Moonblast. We're going to see Rock Slide, hoping for that flinch. Flutter Mane does survive. The bulky spread, like
Oh, Flutter
the
Mane
flinch
flinches.
is huge. Does
Ogerpon
a double
flinches
flinch.
too.
This is the
And
this is
the
the Hail Mary
Sludge
Daniel
Bomb
needs to
takes
stay
that.
in the game.
Oh,
Junxi is
and then
not
the
happy about
Flutter,
that one.
and the Flutter gets taken out by the Sludge Bomb directed at it. Yeah, I mean,
Very unfortunate. That's what Landorus does, right?
Yeah.
It goes
Yeah.
Choice Scarf, it goes fast enough,
Yeah.
and Rock Slide flinches
Yeah.
you. And there's
Yeah.
very little you can do about it.
yeah, very little you can do about it. It's unfortunate. I mean, I guess the only other way, like Junxi could have gotten like some damage on it, would have been like a Grassy Glide onto it, right? But I mean, like it wouldn't have done enough. So like it's just one of those.
So he is going to go into that Rillaboom.
Yeah, so double glide here is actually very threatening.
Yeah, so Double Glide here does do a lot to Landorus. A fake out Ivy Cudgel also taking the knockout most likely, right? Or at least getting close to it. It looks like it's still a very good position for Junxi. I don't
Yeah.
really see how he loses this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
even with the flinches,
because we
yep,
get the
fake out.
E-Speed next turn, right?
Yeah.
If after something goes down.
The Ivy
So-
Cudgel coming out
Cudgel
here.
going into this
High
left
chance
hand
to
out.
crit as well. It
So it's
does
not gonna
live
take
here,
out.
actually.
Sludge Bomb
And
straight
Sludge
into the
Bomb goes
Ogerpon,
in-
knocking
and it
it out,
takes it
which
out.
is actually I think preferable for Daniel.
Yeah.
Because now you get the Harkonine in, you get to E-Speed the
Yeah.
land out, knock it out, and then stomping the Weezing.
Yeah, and
Weezing notably cannot touch this Harkonine at all. Right?
Yeah.
Doing literal
Yeah.
nothing to it
Yeah,
basically.
Weezing cannot touch the Arcanine, right? And oh, Grassy Glide's actually down now, right? So
Relying on this E
there
speed,
is
yeah.
there is a possibility for a flinch endgame. And
I think extreme speed probably takes the Landorus into the high horsepower.
here.
Yeah, I think this is Junxi's game to lose. We'll see though.
Yeah, so he does go for the extreme speed.
Does take the
knockout.
Landorus.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely not.
it's
Choice
over.
band extreme speed, just taking it out cleanly.
It's very
here.
threatening in the back, right?
Yeah.
Cleaning up those KOs.
And does the high horsepower miss? No, it doesn't. Weezing
Quite a
actually
lot.
takes that really well. And it takes down the Rillaboom, but the only issue is it bulky enough to survive this onslaught of extreme speeds coming its way?
It's not.
Probably not, right?
There's
So
effectively no way
Yeah.
for Weezing to win here. It cannot burn the Arcanine, right? A Poison or Sludge Bomb not doing very much damage at all. Extreme speed is going to be quite a lot, right?
and I
So
think
we're gonna get the protect to get the extra leftovers recovery.
yeah, and
Daniel
probably
holding
like
onto
maybe
his last
PP
hope.
stall it a bit too. You know, there's I don't know how many extreme speeds he has, but he is locked into it, right? So if he actually plays this right,
He
could
can PP stall it out. That is true.
He can force
Extreme
him to
speed
struggle.
is notably a move with very low PP.
Yeah, and he
So it is 6 remaining. So
he has 6
I
remaining.
don't
So
see
that
us
is a
running
lot.
out here.
Let's see how much it does though. Oh,
It does
I
not do
think
as
he
much
can
as I
actually
expected,
take
yeah.
one more.
A poison here could be very important. He does get the poison.
Oh, he does get the poison. That's actually also extremely huge. Gets the leftovers recovery at
Most
this.
likely have another protect, burning
And I
that
think
PP, gaining that HP, right?
Yeah, and I could actually, it could
Actually,
actually.
this
take,
is actually very winnable for Junxi,
Yeah.
right? That poison.
I think it takes one more extreme speed too. Like it's
Easily,
probably a roar.
easily.
It's probably a roll, but like it probably takes one more extreme speed, right? And if it takes one more extreme
This
speed,
is most likely also looking like a double protect endgame for Daniel, right?
Yeah.
A double protect in 3 turns from now looks very necessary, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, I think he might want to try to get one more sludge bomb off.
Yeah.
it is kind of risky, but I mean, like it gives it enough chip for like the PP to run out and stuff like that. Like four extreme speeds left. Is he go for the double protect? Extreme speed doesn't KO.
Does not knock out. Sludge Bomb does
Sludge
come out
bomb
here.
connects.
Not doing that much,
Not
but
doing
putting
that
this
much, but
Arcanine
he's gonna
ever
take
lower.
the poison tick for 2 more turns.
Yes.
And he has to lock in extreme speed, and I believe he has like 2 more left.
He has 3.
He has 3 more
He
left.
should have 3. Yeah, he should have 3. So this poison is doing 22 damage every single turn. So yeah, he does have 3 more. I think a double protect is the win con here for Daniel, right? If it happens,
33%
that would be
chance to
crazy.
win the game, pretty much. Yep, leftovers recovery, and maybe even a low roll extreme speed. Honestly, from this range, like
Maybe
it's
it's
probably a
awkward.
roll. Yeah,
So yes,
Does
this
he go-
Arcanine.
I
will-
think he has to just go for the double protect here.
yeah, I think that is the only way. So
Oh,
he does
gets
get it.
Oh my god! And I think the poison tick actually just does it.
It
now.
does, yeah. Most
Yeah.
likely, I think. It either does it or leaves him at 1, I think, or 2.
Yeah, and then,
I did not look
and
very
he's
carefully.
forced to struggle, which I actually don't know if struggle does enough. Choice band struggle does that much damage.
It does less than extreme speed. No,
yeah.
It was
does
1
with 1 HP. Oh my!
I
now
think
it
he has
actually,
1 more
now,
E-speed PP left. Yes, he
Oh,
has
he
1 more.
actually
If this
does.
kills,
Oh,
if this gets a crit, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
But
If he gets the protect again.
he does
Oh,
not.
he does not get the protect
Let's
again.
see it.
But he gets the leftovers recovery.
Oh, the extreme speed. Let's see how much it does. It
Oh,
does
it
knock
does
out.
KO.
That was
Oh,
a very
that-
good
that-
close game.
that
Very
was
well
a-
played by the competitors.
Yeah, you got the
Very
double
interesting
protect.
end game. This
Oh.
Weezing, man, on stream, it's been taking names.
Oh my god, this Weezing performing extremely well, but the 1 HP poison survival.
Yeah, I saw it go from 45 to 23, and I was like, that's 22 damage.
Oh well,
Very interesting end game.
What a
there.
game! What an end game from that. Very well played by both players, honestly. Like, both of them understood their win conditions, and I mean, it obviously there's gonna be a little luck in the game, like we said, right? But I mean,
Yeah, that double protect is
Yeah.
crazy, but I guess it didn't matter.
yeah, it didn't
1
matter.
HP, right?
And honestly, maybe even
That
a
last
low roll.
extreme speed PP as well.
Yeah.
If you hadn't PP maxed, you would have just lost.
yeah, that's actually one of the that's why you do that. That's why you do that,
Make
especially
sure you
for
do
your
that.
low
Go
PP
to
moves,
regionals.
right?
PP
Yeah,
max Ramon moves.
yeah.
I've run out of moves quite often at regionals, and then in between rounds, I PP max them because I know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, again really well played by these guys. So we're gonna move on to top 4 in like the next maybe 5 or 10 minutes, right? So I mean we'll see you guys then. Stay tuned for the top 4. Yep.
See you in top 4.